There's really nothing like the Niger hustle. Like, for real. Growing up, I was trying to figure out, why am I always hustling? What is it? And no one around me was, it's in our blood.
It's in our blood, yeah.
Okay, let's go back to Carroll. Talk to us a bit about that journey. How did you go from the Federal Reserve to being this showrunner that everyone wants to work with?
Thank you. Well, I told my mom at 13 that I wanted to be a writer, and typical Nigerian mother, God bless her, she laughed really hard. And then
she laughed, she didn't beat you?
No, she laughed, and then she left the room, and that was the end of the conversation. So I studied economics, as one does when that happens. But I never lost my love of storytelling and art, and so I was just very strategic. Even in college, I was a theater minor, but my mother didn't know that until I graduated. All she cared about was the economics degree, and I got that. And then even working at the Fed, I wanted to be at the New York Fed, so I was near the theater scene. So for the majority of my 20s, yeah, I know, I look like I'm still there, but but for the majority of my 20s, my routine was, you know, I'm at the trading desk at 6:30 in the morning. I trade for most of the morning. I do my economic analysis that's going to whatever chairman at the time. And then 5 p.m. I would leave and then go to the theater. And it was whatever black box theater in New York, we were putting up our plays. Sometimes I made it home to go to bed, sometimes I didn't. I'd go back to the bed, shower at the gym, change, and be back on the trading desk. And that was the hustle for my 20s. Because again, that's what we have to do. And then I loved theater, it's what my training was in, but TV was my baby. I loved TV. I still consume way too much TV instead of sleeping.
It's research. It's research.
It is research. And so I knew I needed to teach myself how to write for TV because I couldn't afford to quit my job and go back to school. I like knowing where my card note comes from. It's very important to me. And so I did. I put myself through my own masterclass. I would download scripts off the internet, watch the shows that I loved, and teach myself how to write for those. And then, like I said, I used my vacation days to do background work, to meet crew. Everyone was trying to get a line here, a line there. I'd be sitting next to the boom operator like, so what do you do? And how did you get your job? And how do you become a sound mixer? And what does that do? And that was how I learned the industry. And then ultimately, some of my short films did really well on the film festival circuit, landed me my manager, also called Edesua. And
I'm the hype.
But she is. It's like my third panel with Gina over our lives together, and this is what happened. And ultimately, through her, I got my first gig in a writer's room.
Amazing. That deserves a round of applause. That's beautiful. Okay, I'll come to you, Osas. So you were here in the States and then you moved back to Nigeria and you have such a beautiful career in Nigeria. We love Osas. So as someone who has worked here and someone who's working in Nigeria now, what would you say the major differences are? Because this panel is all about cultural interactions and exchange, and we want to uplift each other. So what would you say Nigerians can do better, and what would you say the industry here and those who are working here can do better?
Do you know, I've gotten this question before, and the hustle is always there. I never understood it growing up in the United States. I never understood why I was just so out there and determined and all that. It's when I moved to Nigeria, I realized, oh, I get it now, you know? There is no difference in terms of the Niger actor and the American actor. We do the work, we research, we work hard. We just have environmental challenges.
That's a good way of putting it.
But that makes us even tougher, so that when we're finally on a global scale. We're already on a global scale. It has prepared us, I feel. Working here, I was grateful to have the opportunity, but going to Nigeria and working on a soap opera and working in film and the different environment situations, I had to buckle up a little bit more. And now coming back to the United States and doing different projects, it's like a breath of fresh air, a walk in, let me not say a breath of fresh air, I'm gonna say a walk in the park. It's like, it's not as hard, but it just makes us appreciate what we do in Nigeria and in Africa a whole lot more, because we work hard. We really work hard, and it's great. I'm so grateful to be able to say that a lot of our work is finally being globally recognized. For somebody, I've been in Nigeria for the past 11 years, and for someone to say, oh, I saw you on Netflix, I saw you on Amazon, I saw you on, YouTube or whatnot. We're seeing your work, finally. And it feels good. It feels good to be able to do that, get recognized here, and I'm doing it at home.
So I know we talked about the obstacles. So what initiatives, what strategies? I know we talked about opening the door, letting your people in. What else can we do to bridge this cultural gap? What can we do?
Honestly, I think part of it is also that we need to embrace each other. It shouldn't be this thing of, listen, we're not responsible for our parents leaving and raising us outside of our home country. And there needs to be an embracing on both sides of that, because I can't tell you how many times online I'll hear Nigerians be like, oh, we don't claim home, but we like all Americans. Why aren't you claiming me? It's not my fault I was raised in the US. You know what I mean? Or in Cote d'Ivoire. But, so I think that's also part of how we sort of take over in this initiative.
So how do we do it in Hollywood? How can how can we do that? How can we bring Nollywood to Hollywood?
Well, it's happening with Netflix.
Exactly.
And other streamers. The old system of television and movie is dying. Now we've got the internet, and now we can make our own product and just put it out there and gain an audience. Do you think Netflix is doing it for the good of us? It's not. They see the money and they're like, well, there's money in this. Let's get some of that.
Exactly. There's an audience for these products, and so now is the time for us to push it forward, right? Now that you have people like Gina, like myself, there are these positions where we can go in and pitch these things to Netflix or pitch them to whoever, and we don't have to explain why there's a market for it, because they see it themselves with Gangs of Lagos. They see it, Blood and Water. That is one of my favorite shows from South Africa. I love that show so much, and I'm in the YA genre. They kill it. And I'm like, we could be making shows like this all the time.
Okay, Osas, do you want to add to that?
I concur. I think it's also us supporting each other. You see other cultures supporting each other, and in turn, people are like, what's going on over there? The fact that in music, in film, in television, we're finally supporting ourselves fully, and people are wanting to jump on the bandwagon and figure out what's going on over there. Why is everybody gravitating over there? We want to be a part of it too. We've been the ish from the beginning.
Let them know. Let them know.
So it's just, it's time. It's God's time. So that's why. And we're here at Essence. Our own people finally, bringing us in.
Finally!
Okay, Carol, your thoughts on Nollywood?
No, the same. I really want to bridge the gap, especially, I love television. Like, yes, I write features, but TV is my bread and butter and it's my passion. And so, I want the opportunity to work with amazing actresses like you, and I feel like there has been such a gap. I feel like it's closing, and it has been this sort of expansion where you can see the shows and the movies on Netflix and Amazon and everything that is helping bridge the gap. Because what happens is we get in the room, and then we'll pitch like, oh, there's this great talent I want to bring, and Hollywood is not aware of their work. And now it's an uphill battle, and it's like, well, have they done this? Have they done that? And we're fighting the battle, and we're trying to close that gap, but I feel like that's getting easier and easier. But of course we want a piece of Nollywood.
And I think the films are getting better.
1,000%.
It's getting a lot better. I mean, I watched Gangs of Lagos, and I the cinematography, I'm like, this is what we are capable of,
We've always been capable. It's the opportunity. It's the investment.
It's the resources, the access, the
Yes,
investment, all of it.
that coming together will make what you see now as what Nollywood is represented as.
Yeah.
So we've always had it.
Osas is like, we've always had to do this.
But isn't that the challenge with our country? Like, look at there's so many opportunities. It's the most, we're brilliant as Nigerians, we just are. And so, but then it's the access, it's the resources, it's the investment, it's the getting around the corruption, it's all the things. I mean, we could literally take over the world.
I mean, we will. I mean, yeah, when I did my own stand-up comedy specials, my hour specials that you've seen on Netflix, those were not made by Netflix. That was me just putting money together and selling tickets and handing out flyers and basically doing like rappers, selling my stuff out and, you know, like mixtapes out, you know, and it was just hustling to get stuff made. So can you imagine if all of us got together with the hustle that we have and trusted each other, we could do great things.
Literally take over.
Okay, as we round up, because I'm getting signals about time.
We started late, so.
I know we started late. I want to do so. I want all the Nollywood delegates from Nigeria to please rise. These are people.
Okay, so Gina Yashere, drop me an email. Let's do something.
Okay. And then we had.
Beautiful. Love this.
And then we also had Nigerians here, filmmakers, who submitted their shorts, and we screened some of those shorts. So I'd like those filmmakers to please rise. Okay, great. So last words, really, or final words as we end this panel. We really want more inclusion in Hollywood, more representation. It's beautiful for us to see, see what happened with Wakanda and see what happened with like A Woman King. We want more of those movies. How do we make that happen?
We have to support each other. We have to go to each other's screenings, go to each other's comedy shows. I'm doing a tour right now, Woman King of Comedy. Anyway, go to each other's things, help each other make things. This is how we do what the white people do. Support each other, build together. That's the only way we're gonna get this, you know, get a real foothold in this industry and not have it controlled by other people. This is what we need to do.
And also, don't take no for an answer. Nowadays, there's no one way to get your project out there. No one can stop you from writing. No one can stop you from... Listen, people throw a lens on an iPhone and create their projects and put it on YouTube, and now all of a sudden, you know, Amazon or Netflix or whoever wants to acquire it. Make your projects. Do not take no for an answer. Do not listen to anyone who tells you that your story and your narrative isn't worthy of an audience, because we all know that. Do not make it anyway. That is literally what we do. Make it anyway, because you never know where the opportunity is going to come from. You never know where the open door is going to be, or the window, or the whatever, and just be ready to jump through that. I didn't know where my start was going to come from, but I knew if I had those short films ready to go, I knew if I had those scripts ready to go, when that opportunity came, I was going to leap through that door. And that's what we all have the power to do.
Exactly. You don't let the gatekeepers validate you.
Exactly.
You know, Bob Hart had the show that came, you know how I got the show? I asked Chuck and the guys, how did you find me? They said, we Googled Nigerian female comedians. So if I didn't have all of my stuff online, if I wasn't putting all my sets online and putting all my work online and just putting it out there.
For a second, I thought you said putting your sex online. Story, Gina.
My OnlyFans is But yeah, if you're not putting your stuff out there, you know, if your stuff isn't out there, who's going to see you? This is how you do.
Exactly.
It was a Google search, they found something, they found the set that I did when my mother was in the audience, it got me a meeting, and once I got in the room, I made sure that I became indispensable. But if your stuff isn't out there, just keep making your product. You never know who's watching.
Exactly.
You never know where the opportunity comes from. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, Gina Yashere.